Hi, everybody. So tonight we are going to just be reviewing some of the things we did last year with inequalities. And when we solve inequalities, we solve them just like an equation, except that if we are multiplying or dividing by a negative, we have to flip the symbol. And most of you remember this from many weekly reviews where I remember we have had quite a few of these, and I remember giving back to students problems where they had forgotten to do that exact step. So the other thing you need to keep in mind is this graphing technique here, that the open circle goes with the less than, greater than, or the not equal to, and the closed circle goes with the less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or when we are equal to, we will put a closed circle. So solving graph in each inequality, you should try these three on your own, pause the video, and come back and check with me. Number one, I got x is less than or equal to -6. This one did, depending on how you solved it, it should involve a flip. Or if you got this, -6 is greater than or equal to x. Remember last year that I said you should always start with x is, okay? Because it does make the graphing a little bit easier. And if you don't have x on the left-hand side of the equation, you can't follow this for your arrow, okay? So I would put -6 in the middle of my graph. That's a negative. I would use a closed circle in this case, and I would graph it to the left. Okay? Number two also may have involved a flipping, depending on where you solved for x, but this is x is less than 2. So I would have 2 in the middle of my graph. It would be an open circle also heading to the left. Okay? And number three, I got x is less than -2. Hopefully you got the same thing. If not, go back and check your work, see if you can get to that answer. And in the middle of my graph would be -2. And it's an open circle going to the left. So that's just review from last year, and I think most of you will be fine with that and working out equations, okay? Let's go down and write an inequality that represents each statement. X is less than 8 and greater than 3. And x can be less than 8 and greater than 3. So I can write this compound inequality like that. If it's an or situation, you cannot use this common type bracket situation. You have to use actually the word or. So x is greater than 7 or x is less than 5 would actually have to be written like this. It cannot be both, and we wouldn't be able to graph it both, so we have to use the word or. X is less than 4 or is at most -3. So think about what that really means. The x is less than 4 is pretty easy. Or at most -3. Can it be -3? Yes, it can be -3. Can it be -2? Sure. Can it be -4? No. So less than or equal to. X is at most 12. And at least 5. At least 5 is or equal to, so it's at least, it could be 5 or it could be more. And at most 12, it can be 12 and anything below 12. The next section, they just want you to write it using the word and. So this is saying x is greater than or equal to -7 and x is less than 5. So try number 6 on your own. Pause here. And if you're back, you should have x is greater than 12 and x is less than or equal to 17. All right, moving on to the back. This is just graphing, and you'll have practice with this tomorrow too, or tonight too, when you work on the worksheet that I handed out today. That's going to be a 6 and 10 open circles on both ends, and I'm just going to connect them with my line. Now, number 8, it's an OR situation. So x is less than 2. If you're looking at this and just trying to reason it out, it's less than 2, or it's greater than or equal to 5. So I have my 5 here, greater than or equal to is going to go this way, and less than is going to go like that. Good? Number 9. So you should try 9, 10, 11, and 12 on your own. Come back, check it out, see how you did. Okay? See you in a few minutes. So I have a -2 here, a 7 here, solid, solid, connect the dots. Number 10 is an OR, so I'm going to be less than or equal to -3 and greater than 6. Okay? And 11 is just saying it can't be 5. It can be anything but 5. Anything at all, as long as it is not 5. And the next one, I am between 2, including 2, and not including 12. Sound good? So the rest, you have that other sheet to work on for homework, and we will continue with absolute value inequalities. Yeah, absolute value inequalities tomorrow. Have a wonderful night, ladies and gentlemen.